record this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just
So the Atlanta at one time used to be, and I'd have to look back here. I'm not sure if it lost its. It used to be the franchising hub.
oh, really?
There were more corporate headquarters in Atlanta, franchise corporate headquarters in Atlanta than any other state. I think Colorado may have surpassed, but I'd have to look. If not, if they didn't, so the Atlanta may still be the franchising hub,
Yeah.
corporate headquarters. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing, yeah, so I moved here in '94 and from New Jersey. I literally have yet to have a bad day here. I mean, of course, I moved here for a girl, so that happened.
Oh, yeah, that happens. Hey, you could have moved. You could have moved worse places, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That could have happened.
So
But so where are you, by the way, Jeff Lutz?
Yeah, I'm in Ohio. I'm suburb of Cleveland, Chagrin Falls.
Oh,
About 30 minutes from downtown and the lake. 30 minutes southeast.
well, I hear that's great too. The whole Cleveland area, there's still good deals to be had there, and the surrounding areas are beautiful. I'm pumped about that whole Cleveland area.
Yeah, so Cleveland is, just like a lot of older blue collar steel, steel town
Mm-hmm.
cities is really having a sort of a renaissance here. A lot of, just a lot of corporations that are starting to call, picking up, moving to Cleveland. We have fairly still, and I'm sure as it becomes more popular, traffic becomes worse, as does the cost of living, but still relatively inexpensive
Yeah.
real estate. So yeah, it is. We've seen, and we've got the same thing going on. Is that sprawl, right? The sprawl
Yeah.
downtown. What we're finding is that, we've got major headquarters: Eaton, Sherwin-Williams, Cleveland Cliffs, right? We've got a lot of corporate headquarters, Parker Hannifin, and what have you. So what they're finding is that this younger, the younger generation, they want to live downtown.
Yeah.
They've transformed. I mean, condos going up, townhouses going up, areas just being regentrified. So
that's great. And are they bringing their kids there too? Like, are they raising families there in that downtown area?
What you'll find is that, so what we're seeing is a lot of, we had a lot of brain drain for a long time. And what we're seeing are two things that are happening. One is that the brain drain, those young professionals who were from Cleveland, may have gone to school here or what have you, or somewhere else, they left to go start their careers.
Right.
Now, as they're starting families, they're moving back home.
Wow. Oh, that's exciting. You're right in the mix of it.
Yeah. So, and then we're seeing that those who do start off, say those who do come to Cleveland from somewhere else in the country or in the state, actually, and so say they go downtown and they're working for one of the Sherwin-Williams or what have you. Once they start a family, they're staying, but they're sprawling, right?
Yeah.
So they'll go 30 minutes like we are, 30 minutes from the city. Still, I have to tell you, I've been to Atlanta a lot. I've been all over, right? And we are still able to get downtown in about 30 minutes.
Perfect. Yeah. That's good living.
So
Yeah. Well, you
yeah,
look like you're a happy man. So we got that going on.
you know what? If I would be ashamed if I wasn't. I've
That's it.
blessed, man. Yeah, I got a daughter of mine. My oldest daughter's graduating from college in May.
Wow.
My youngest daughter is she's going to be a senior. She's a junior right now in college. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, awesome. Well, why don't we do this? I got you for 30 minutes, maybe 20 now. But why don't I ask you a few questions, see what you're doing in your world, and see if there's a way in which I can support you. If I can, I'll let you know. And if I can't, I'll let you know that too. And yeah, I'll give you some direction. I've been doing this a while.
Sure.
All right. Well, cool. Well, let's why don't you kick it off? Why don't you tell me what your business wise, what you're doing now, the stage that you're in, and kind of what motivated our connection today.
So, franchise consultant. I've been a franchise consultant, well, part-time for about 9 years, full-time this last year. Prior to that, my wife and I owned a Goddard School. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Goddard School. So we owned that for 17 years.
Now Goddard School is a franchise as well, correct? Got
it. So I've got deep franchising industry experience. So, owning, running, the whole gamut. I started, that my wife and I had a really good system worked out where, we were both able to spend time at the school, not full time, but, I would cover mornings, she would cover afternoons. Long story.
Yeah.
We just sold that actually in 23. And then I went and started consulting, franchise consulting full time in 23. Had a great year. As I said, I did it part time because it was something to keep me active because I didn't need to be at the school full time, and it was just a really good situation. Now what I'm looking at is, and most of my lead generation has been through a group of ours that we pay per placement for leads we get. So I belong to it's a what we call it a mastermind group. We collaborate and we pay per placement. We don't pay per lead. I've done the pay per lead. I've done the I've done a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I liked that situation, and I like that setup. So recently, one of the gentlemen who does most of our videos and lead generation has had to take a leave, and it's got me now looking and saying, okay, what are my options? What are my lead generation options?
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for, those individuals who have, and this keeps going up. To get a business, you're going to need $100,000, at least $100,000 liquidity, and a couple hundred, 250, 300,000, if not higher, $500,000 net worth. So we're looking, or I'm looking at generating leads to individuals, one, who are interested in looking at franchising for either career transition, diversified portfolio, what have you. And two, that have the liquid capital and the net worth available and the credit score available. So basically what this comes down to is we're looking for serious qualified leads.
Yes.
You've expressed
Join the club.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you hear that all the time.
No,
Yeah.
no, and really, and that's what they, that's perfect that you know that. And what's special about your business is that your industry agnostics, like you have several different options for them to go for all these things.
Yeah, 500.
Yeah, and that's both a blessing and a curse, by the way. And in terms of marketing, it may be, well, let me ask you, are there any, I know the answer anyhow, but are there any that you particularly sell more than others?
Um, that's a good, really depends on, it depends on economy, what economy we're in. So, and let me clarify that.
I get it. Yeah. So restaurants cost a lot more than it does to start a house cleaning service.
Yeah, we don't do a whole lot with food.
Okay.
Food is, yeah, food is a very difficult. Usually, the people that want to get into food have never been in food. People that are in food who want to get out of food want nothing to do with it. So, food is a very difficult industry.
You're good. Well, okay. So then let me ask you, how many did you sell last year? Place last year?
About 15.
Good for you. And it's the same way you get paid by the franchisor, 10 to 15,000 per pop. That's okay. Good.
Well, yeah, and it depends. I mean, I had some big multi-unit deals last year, some really high, just some really, it was my best year.
Oh, it's exciting. So what's your vision? What's the goal? What when you are like are you planning on hiring people, have people okay, so tell me what the what's next for you as far as when you know that you're rolling good?
In regards to number of placements or
another replacements or income or earnings or what's a number?
Oh, here's really a rule of thumb. One placement a month is what I like to get.
Okay.
That's the minimum, one placement a month. Now, different systems will tell you different things. One placement a month, you're going to have 200 leads. And, I am far beyond quantity. I'm not going to sit here. I do this because I enjoy it. It's a great way for me to stay active in the industry. It's a great way for me to keep my gray matter growing. I love working with entrepreneurs. So my goal is minimum of one placement a month.
Okay.
Focus on certain industries, but I'm open. It really, it's candidate driven. So, it's not trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, but we really focus on those industries that have substantial attainable growth. And we look at 10, 20 years. So when you look at that, we love anything that's in anti-aging. We love home services. We love, in-home senior care, handyman services, anything in the home remodeling and construction. Although that is not going to give up. The prediction is that that's not going to last. I mean, it's hot right now. It's one of the hottest industries. But that's not going to give us a 20-year sustainable as the others will. But, that's got 10 to 15 of double-digit growth. Okay.
Got it.
We like to focus on, and then there's a bunch in between that, right? But those are the industries that I really like to focus on.
Okay, got it. Yeah, you know your stuff. You're good. I'm going to share something with you later because I think you'd be perfect with it. So what is now that this guy has left, he's taken a hiatus. What do you expect is your challenge finding these ones again this year?
Just lead generation. I mean, the way it was set up is, we had people actively reaching out to us who were interested, right? It's an active, we weren't actively going out searching for them.
Well, what was this guy? What was he doing?
Franchise City.
Yeah, and why doesn't somebody take that over and keep that process going?
Well, we are in discussion about that. We need somebody who can deal with all of the Google, everything that goes into basically YouTube, Google search, all the analytics, making the videos, those kinds of things.
Okay, all the SEO. So he was doing that, and there was no fee. There's no fee to join this thing. Like who was?
There's a select group of us, all of us. One of the requirements for Franchise City is that you have to either be a business owner, a franchise owner, preferably, own a franchise, or start a franchise, meaning take a concept and franchise it. So that's really the only requirement. And of course, you gotta place people. But if you look up Franchise City, you'll see some of his YouTube videos. He hasn't. He's had to step back a little bit. He hasn't really posted anything, but he would do active videos. Had a very strong YouTube channel, a lot of stuff. Just so that's how when people go on and did a search, boom, Franchise City would come up. They would contact Franchise City, and then as the leads would come in, we would be handed or given the leads.
Seems like that's the business, and he gets a piece when you place somebody. Then he gets. Seems like that's the business. Somebody needs to take over that. But all right,
that has been something that we've talked about. I actually made that recommendation, is that we need to step in and take it over.
I mean, if it's been working,
it's being considered. Yeah. We're just trying to delicately dance around that, right?
it'll cost some money to pay for that person, but because you got to pay somebody to do that. But you seem to have the standard operating procedure.
Which us really have the desire or the skill set
to
do what he did, or what like I said, we don't have the desire or the skill set.
Okay.
I think it's a case of burnout. I think it's a case of just there's a lot of things going on.
Okay. All right. Well, so we have to do something new. Otherwise, because with leads, it doesn't just slow down; it goes to zero.
Oh no, I've got a really nice. Here's the thing: my backlog so far this year, I don't need to generate any more to have a good year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the pipeline and what's coming, what's closing, and these take, some of these take time. But I want to be proactive.
Got it.
And without the lead flow, I find myself a little like, I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel right.
You get too much time in your hands, yeah.
Too much. So okay. Looking at alternatives. Yeah.
Well, so let me see if I got it right, and I think I'm pretty close. You're a great year. Things are going well. You really don't even need it, but you're in a good place, and you like the business, and you want to keep.
Love it.
But you're a business owner and an entrepreneur, so your goal is always to create something that's steady, that keeps going, that you never need to retire, and you can travel. This is a fun business to play around with. And the only work that has to get done is the part that you don't like doing, which is the hustle to get those leads. You just need to offshoot that. You need consistent at bats.
But well, when you and that's exactly. I am at a point, when I first started doing this, it was buy leads,
Right.
in packs of 50, 100, and you'd go through 200 leads and you'd get a plate. I'm well beyond that.
And it's expensive. It's expensive to get those monthly. People, I was talking to a guy because they do all that stuff on LinkedIn. I was talking to a guy, he's spending $5-6 grand a month just putzing around.
And it's going, and it continues to get more expensive. And the issue that we find is that, there's a lot of lead generation companies out there that say, and I've worked with many of them that say that, their leads are quality. And I get it. I get it. Not every lead is going to be quality. I understand that. I completely realistic. I don't expect it. But when you're paying the kind of money that, that these companies are asking for leads, we all expect better quality. So now, there seems to be a real lack of quality in a lot of the lead generation.
Well, and listen, I speak to like my buddy that I work with at Honey Baked Hams. They don't use brokers. I think they have their internal staff that's selling their things, what have you. And he's their cheese.
It's like Subway. They don't use. We don't recommend.
Right. Right. They don't pay. They don't need to. But I talked to him and he says, man, the world has just absolutely changed because there's so many people like you. No one's like you individually, but okay, I'll get it. That we're getting inundated with so much AI and so much speed stuff, and nobody believes anything anymore. And they all start sounding the same. Everybody's been chat GPT-ified. And so totally different. Which is where we came in. And I think if I can get you to that point where you're dealing with, I call a qualified lead, I don't know, I'll tell you what I call a qualified lead. Someone with need and desire for a specific thing. And that specific thing could be, like you said, change of lifestyle, but someone who needs the next 10 or 20 years to be control of their own destiny. So a need or a want, they have decision-making ability, and they have money. For me, that's a lead. Okay.
And let me just cut you off real quick. No question. But what we're seeing today is a lot of kids that are getting out of college can't find the job of their dreams, which they think I'm right out of college and you're making, high six figures but we're seeing a lot of kids today who are getting the backing from their parents.
Of course.
Right.
You want to get their parents and that's it. But I think if I can get, and this is what a QCL does, if I can give you a step-by-step plan to put, and what they're guaranteeing is 20 to 40 of those type of face-to-face meetings with people within the first 90 days. That's their thing, but they don't do it by putting them into your calendar. So you're selling one-to-one. The way that works now, that we're finding all sorts of consultants being able to get the business, is by putting together what we call executive roundtables, let's say, where there's 4 to 6 people. In your case, I would expect mom and dad and the person, but and then a bunch of groupings of that, but 4 to 6 people in a group together. Sometimes there's 10 or whatever, but where it's more of a conversational type of thing. Hey, this is the world of franchising. This is what we do. And then we share with you our skills on how to close, how to conduct those meetings. And the purpose is we really do want you to close because we get most of our juice from the back end as a percentage of the back end once you place these people. The way I said earlier that I think you'd be perfect for this is because you present yourself as an expert. We want you to be the industry expert sharing these things. And we find that people with, with certain programs, consultants and coaches who have, to be frank, a little bit of gray hair and the ability to speak from experience can close. And so if I can give you a step-by-step way to get to that point, how quickly would you want to get started?
I am, you tell me.
All right. Well, let's do this. This thing's going to run out of time in 2 seconds. Let's sign out and then sign right back in.
Okay.
And that'll redo it. So
I've showed time remaining 10 minutes.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So let's just do that. I just saw something come up and I get scared. I want to give you the time. Okay, cool. So let me ask you this though. How do people learn and accept things different ways? Some people are coachable and some people not. How do you how are you best supported, or how do you like best using vendors like us? In terms of communication or this or that, do you see things by video? Do you like it through one-on-one calls? How do you best your communication with people?
I like, we were using Zoom before Zoom was cool, right? I mean,
okay.
So I like video. I'm an old school too. I want open communication. And there's a million ways to communicate.
Yeah.
Zoom, phone, text. I don't care as long as there's an open communication. I'm comfortable with anything.
Okay. Okay. Great. And I can count on you to work with us in terms of building the proper message and being there for us so we could work together as a team to get. Because this is kind of a partnership type of arrangement.
I am looking for exactly that. I don't want just somebody to send me leads. That I want a partner who understands what I'm looking for, my mission, and then I want to know, like you said, where are you getting your juice from? How can I help you? Because in essence, this has to be. I hate to be cliche. It's got to be win-win.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, based on what you said, I think we align. Let's let me share with you, and when we're done, I will send you a recap of this along with the proposal and showing you the whole shebang. But let me get all the questions out of the way. So basically, what we do is all the things that most people don't want to do. In terms of the marketing aspect. So you sit back and we're going to bring you qualified people. We're going to first go ahead and ask you to fill out a questionnaire and stuff, and we are going to return you like a 10-page document, but with all the messaging that we're going to use. That's kind of my baby. That's my strategy thing. I know there's 3 words that repel people and 3 words that attract them, and you say I, we, and us too much and people are turned off. And so like if you're like most of the customer or most of the business owners that I deal with, you want like 3 things. You want a company that has long-term growth opportunities. You want something that is manageable and easy to run with a manager, so you can step away and still collect, and you want a business that's kind of scalable. Am I pretty close to the truth? And I shared what we do for you. I'm just making that up in my head, but I'm sharing what I can do for you without talking about what we do. which is really important in marketing. You know, without saying I, we, and us, it's very impactful. So we're going to build the messaging for you that we know that works, that brings people to this thing. Then we're going to go ahead and target those people. We're going to build a huge list. We do this at our expense. We're going to build a huge list. We're probably going to use LinkedIn Navigator, probably going to just, emails, whatever it takes to get you the 20 to 40 face-to-face meetings. By the way, if you can close, and we see that, again, we make the money off the back end, so we'll do it forever. We don't care, that's the thing. But you're guaranteed at least 20 to, we will build that message and then get it through there. The purpose is to build those, in your case, executive roundtables. In addition to that, we offer training, training on how to close. You may or may not need it, but training on how to facilitate a meeting that you could bring it to the offer at the end so you can set up those meetings and really finish the job, take care of that. And you'll get access to all that. You also get access to our, the CRM service that we use. So, a lot of people will connect with you. Not everybody wants to come to the meeting. Some people won't show up, blah, 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 but you still have all their information so you can follow up and rekindle those things, and we'll show you all that stuff. So you're basically building a pipeline for it. And you get access to all that. We use monday.com. And then lastly, and most importantly, you get me. And I'm just, I'm a good guy to know. We have to link in together. I'm just a good guy to know with all this stuff. Sure. I own several franchises myself, sold them all. I've owned 6 businesses. I built them up and sold them. I'm a really good, at building businesses and getting customers. I'm a horrible manager. And I just didn't have the skill to be able to delegate. And so I just said, you know what? You got to know yourself.
Well, and the thing about that is that you've realized what your core competency is. And, and that's, so many people struggle with that.
Yeah.
And delegation is, I had to learn that, and for 17 years, I learned every day.
By the way, any questions on the stuff that we deliver?
Are you using social media platforms? Are you doing videos? All that? I mean, how does that all work?
Yeah, any and all things. But the end of the day is we're getting you 20 to 40 face-to-face appointments. So, do you really care how it comes? Okay, yeah,
it doesn't matter to me.
Right.
I can give you. There's a guy that I'm really impressed with. He's doing his own videos. It's called Franchise Sidekick. You may want to look at it. Does a lot of videos.
Yeah, well, you ought to look at. I do. I'm sorry, I'm rushing because I know we're going to get cut off here. Okay, let me finish up. But yeah, I do videos every day. I do them on LinkedIn. I mean, link in with me. I think I tried to link with you. You just have to accept me, and you'll get pounded. All right. Now the best part. Let me tell you about the investment for joining. All right. I think it's the best part because you know how much stuff costs. There's really not a lot to it. There's no monthly fees. There's no subscription. It's a one-time investment, $5,000, and then we get 10% off the back end of any deal sold that comes through us.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, that is, it's very. You
got to give me some objection. This is my game. Tell me that you need to ask your wife.
No, I will tell you that it's reasonable.
Yeah.
I understand it. I like the back end. I like.
Oh yeah, we're partners, baby. And that's why I say hook up with me because I will show you how to close.
I really like the back end, and that's why I got away. I hadn't bought a lead. I haven't bought a lead in 7 years since I've been part of Franchise City. Have not bought a lead,
Good for you.
but I'm giving, you're giving off the back end, but I'm
Yeah,
fine with that.
absolutely.
With that.
I will send you, before we get cut off, out a recap, like I said, and it'll be in the form of a proposal. It'll show you everything. There's people on their testimonials. You can get in touch with them or not.
Yeah.
But if everything looks good,
You got my email, right?
yeah, you're good. If everything looks good, hook me up this week, sign the thing, and we'll get started within 10 days. You'll get the whole thing.
Sounds
Sound good? Let's high five it there.
Thank
Hey,
you.
you're really a good man. I don't know. Sometimes you just kind of click with people. So
That's well, doing what we do.
yeah.
You can either figure out real quick if you're going to connect and are able to form a relationship, or